Hi, Shannon Korn here, relationship expert and clinical therapist. Just jumping on today to talk to you about some signs that they just aren't that into you. So, I often get asked by clients, how do I tell if the person that I'm dating or that I'm talking to is really into me? And this could go for guys or girls. This is not gender specific, but I've come up with the five top ways that you can tell that the person that you're talking to is not that into you. All right. So, number one, they aren't contacting you or they only sporadically contact you. So, if this person never initiates contact, um, you're always the person that's the first one to send a text, or all of your contact is via some digital, whether it's text or email, or, there's never any phone calls, there's never any actual conversation. That's a pretty good indicator that this person is probably not that into you because people make time for what they want, right? So if they want to talk, if they were really into you, they would make time to talk to you. So when you are the one that's always sending out the first email or the first text, and they take their sweet time getting back to you, or they only get back to you when they want something, that's a really good indicator that they're not that into you. Way two to tell that they're not that into you. They are keeping you a secret. So if you are their secret booty call, right? If you're the person that they call whenever they want to hook up, but they don't tell their friends about you. They don't talk about you to their family. You are their deep dark secret. Then that tells you a couple things. Number one, it tells you that they're not that into you, right? Because when you really like somebody, when you're really into somebody, you talk about them. You want to talk about them with your friends, you want to talk about them with your family. So, one of two things is going on here. Either one, they're not that into you, or two, there's a reason that they can't talk about you. And maybe that is another girlfriend or boyfriend, a husband or a wife, but there's a reason why you're a secret. So if they are keeping you a secret, and I don't mean like, oh, I don't want to make it Facebook official or whatever. I'm talking about like they do not talk about you to anybody in their life. And if you're hanging out at his place and he gets a call from his friend and he shh, and you have to pretend you're not there. Something is going on and he is not that into you. Number three, they are sporadic in their efforts, and it's usually when they want something. So maybe a week or two will go by and you won't hear a peep from this person, but suddenly you'll get a phone call or a text because they're looking to hook up, or they need help moving, or whatever. They want a favor or they need something from you. So if the only time that they're really reaching out to you is when they need or want something, that's definitely a sign that you are an option, not something that they really want. And number four is if they disappear for periods of time. And I will say, like, and what can kind of go hand in hand with this is if they are so busy or they're too busy to have a relationship. Because the reality is, people make time for the things that are important to them. So if they really like you or they're really interested in you, they are going to find time in their schedule to talk to you, to see you, to spend time with you. That's the reality. People make time for things that are a priority for them. So if the person that you're talking to never has time to talk to you or to hang out, or the only time they're available is when they're looking to hook up, chances are that they're not really that into you, that you are just a way for them to pass a little time. And number five, the last way that you can tell that someone is not into you is the physical intimacy is lacking. And when I say the physical intimacy is lacking, I'm not talking about sex, because plenty of people will have sex with someone that they're not that interested in, or that they're not interested in having a serious relationship with. I'm talking about the other part of intimacy, which is showing affection, holding hands, hugging, cuddling, things that aren't necessarily an instigation to, or that don't lead to sex. Or even, I've had clients tell me like, "Oh, sure, I like this person that I'm seeing, like we have sex all the time, but like they don't ever want to like kiss me, or there's no foreplay or whatever." So, at the very least, like that, if your needs aren't getting met in the sexual relationship, that's a problem. But also, if there's no affection, if there's no intimacy, if there's no warmth, and it's just the physical act of sex, then the reality is that they're probably not that into you. So, again, just to kind of review, number one is that they aren't contacting you, or they only contact you sporadically. They're not returning texts, they never initiate texts. Number two is they're keeping you a secret. Number three is they're very sporadic in their efforts, and it's typically, if you really kind of look at the history, the only time that they're really making those efforts is when they want something from you. Number four is that they disappear for periods of time, or they are too busy to have a relationship. And number five is the physical intimacy is lacking. So I will tell you, my recommendation is, if you see those kinds of things popping up, do yourself a favor, save yourself some time, and leave the relationship, because this is a person that is wasting your time and wasting your energy, and they're not serious about you. And another, I'll give you a bonus tip. If the only time that they seem really interested in you is when you attempt to move forward, or that you start talking to somebody else, chances are they're not really into you again. They just don't want to see you move on to something else. So, I hope this was helpful. Feel free to follow me on Facebook. My business page is Transformations and Relationships. Um, or on Instagram, I'm the Relationship Coach 813 on Instagram. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care.